In this video, I'm going to be giving my biggest takeaway about every NBA team. Some takeaways are bold, some are not, but it's overall just my thoughts on some teams and what I'm thinking about when I look at every team. So I hope you enjoy. Let me know who your favorite team is. Let me know what you expect to happen this year. I certainly don't believe everything I think is going to happen, but I do hope some things I say do come true, and for other things, I know they're not coming true. So I hope you enjoy. Let's get right into it. I think the Atlanta Hawks will finish top 4 in the East next year. This is large part due to Quinn Snyder, and I also have a sneaky feeling that Trae Young will be in the MVP conversation, finishing top 8. There's takeaway number 2. And honestly, the reason I say this, that they're going to finish top 4 in the East, is because the young wings on this team, I think, dictate the success that they'll have, and I am very excited to see what the young wings do. So that's my 3 takeaways on the Hawks. I think the Boston Celtics are going to be second round exits next year. However, I think Jrue Holiday is going to carry them in the regular season, so they will be the 1 seed next year in the East. However, let's circle back to the second round exit thing. Porzingis, Holiday, Tatum, and Brown. I do not trust any of those 4 players in the postseason. Sure, Tatum and Brown, they've been to a finals. Their teams have been loaded, and they haven't won. I don't care about how many times you've been to the Eastern Conference Finals. If you don't win, that's honestly a failure. And then, Porzingis, if he was any good in the postseason, he'd still be on the Dallas Mavericks. And Jrue Holiday has not been as good in the postseason the past 2 years as he was when they won the championship. So you got 2 regressing players and 2 guys that can't really get the job done. I just personally don't trust them. That's just my personal opinion. And then they have no front court depth. So Porzingis, who is injury prone, that's your center. Al Horford, old, that's your other center. Who else you got at center? Luke Cornett, congratulations. You sound like a championship contender. But who knows, I'll probably be wrong. For the Nets, I think one of Ben Simmons or Mikal Bridges will make the All-Star team next year. I think the Nets will fall anywhere between the 12 seed and 5 seed, but we just have to wait to see what type of performance their players put on, specifically Ben Simmons. But I also think they're probably going to end up being the best defensive team statistically in the NBA, and they might be a historically good defensive team. I would not be surprised. The Hornets might have to shut down their franchise due to off-the-court issues. That's a bold take I'm thinking about, because what is going on in Charlotte? But in all seriousness, I have not been high on Brandon Miller at all, but I have a sneaky suspicion that he wins Rookie of the Year. Like somehow, I don't know. You're gonna hear me say that about a lot of rookies in this video, but I think that race is as wide open as ever. But I think the Hornets might somehow manage to make the play-in tournament, and I just have a feeling about it. If I get this prediction wrong, I'm not gonna be mad about it. I'm not rooting for the Hornets. I don't want the Hornets to win, but I just have a feeling that they're gonna do some crazy stuff. The Chicago Bulls are going to finish top 6 in the Eastern Conference next year. I also have a feeling that they're going to trade Patrick Williams because they are desperate to compete right now. I also think Zach LaVine will have a really good year and silence any doubt about him not being a top shooting guard in the NBA. Since me personally, I think he's better than Jaylen Brown. But everybody in the NBA seems to be sleeping on him. And yeah, that's going to look very stupid after this year. For the Cavs, I have one of my crazier takes of this video, and I think they'll trade Donovan Mitchell at the trade deadline. I just have a feeling. No one's expecting it, but you hear all these rumors and stuff. Who knows? Maybe they'll do that. But regardless, I think they'll finish top 2 in the East because they are a very, very good regular season team. However, I know you Knicks fans are listening, probably rolling your eyes at me for saying that. They're going to lose in the first round in the postseason, the Cavs are. They're going to be a very good regular season team, but they're not making it out the first round. Definitely not the second round. So you'll look at it that way. They're going to be good in the regular season, but not in the postseason. I really don't think the Mavericks will make the playoffs this year. I think they're going to miss it again. And I think Luka's going to request a trade. However, it will not be granted. I don't think they'll trade him. However, I think they're going to go out there and acquire OG Anunoby. I just have a feeling they can put a decent package together between their young players and picks, but I think they'll fall short. Now, if they make it into the play-in tournament, I really want to say this, there's no way they lose 2 games or 1 game in the play-in tournament. Like, they'll win their play-in tournament games. Luka in a 1-game series is like Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Giannis, like Kevin Durant, all these great players in 1-game series. Like, they're not going to lose. I think a championship hangover for every team that wins is inevitable. I can't pronounce that word, sorry, but I think the Nuggets will fall to the 5th or 6th seed in the West. I still think they have the best starting 5 in the NBA. However, I don't have any confidence in their depth, and that's why I think they're going to be the 5 or 6 seed and then lose in the first or second round. Sorry. Ausar Thompson is going to end up being the perfect piece for the Pistons this year, and they're going to make the play-in tournament. I am personally really high on the Pistons team and think they will shock a lot of people, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, they could not make the play-in at all, but I like their roster. I like it. But I also do think at least one of James Wiseman or Marvin Bagley will get waived or released by the end of the year. I don't think they can have both of them and expect to be good. I think the Warriors are still very, very good, and I think that they'll have a championship level team. And that is why I think they can finish within the top 3 seeds of the West. I also think that if Curry plays 65 games this year, he will finish top 3 in MVP voting. Andrew Wiggins will make an All-NBA team. I have 110% confidence in that. But I also know I could look 110% stupid by saying that. I think the Rockets are going to end up regretting their free agent decisions by bringing on Fred VanVleet and Dillon Brooks, and they're going to realize that in order for their young players to develop, they can't have those guys taking minutes away from them. So they're going to regret that and try and trade at least one of them at the deadline. But I also expect Jabari Smith Jr. and Tari Eason to have very good sophomore years. And then Cam Whitmore and Amen Thompson, I'm expecting them to have really roller coaster up and down first years, but they're going to show a lot of promise. I'm expecting the Pacers to make the playoffs next year, and because of that, I think Tyrese Halliburton will get MVP votes. Definitely not first, second, third, fourth, or fifth, but he'll get at least 1 vote. I also think Obi Toppin is going to be the most improved player, if not a finalist. I think the Clippers are going to stay healthy this year, and Kawhi is going to prove he is a top 5 player in the NBA currently. Paul George is also going to prove he's a top 10 player right now. And I also think Russell Westbrook's going to completely change the narrative on him that he currently has. If the Clippers stay healthy, they're as good as any team. I think if they stay healthy, they're going to make the Western Conference Finals, or they'll meet a different team. But it won't be the Lakers. And speaking of the Lakers, I think the Lakers are going to be very good this year. However, I don't think they're going to go all out in the regular season, which is why I believe they will be the 4 or 5 seed. Again, I know LeBron fans are going to be upset by me saying that, and Lakers fans are going to be upset by me saying that, but they are going to be good in the playoffs. They are a good team. They're just not going to be going all out in the regular season. That's why they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed. Now, I wouldn't be shocked if they finished 1, 2, or 3, but I don't expect them to try hard in the regular season. And I'll say it again, they will be very dangerous in the postseason. I think Austin Reeves' hype will die down, though, and he'll come back to earth. I have a sneaky suspicion that the Grizzlies will finish as the 2nd seed in the West again, and I think Ja Morant's coming out for a revenge tour, and I think he's going to be a top 10 player in the NBA. And I also expect Desmond Bane and Jaren Jackson Jr. to take huge leaps, and with those leaps, I think Memphis is going to solidify a big 3 between Ja, Bane, and Triple J. If the Miami Heat don't make it in as a top 6 seed next year, I think they're going to lose in the play-in tournament. I don't trust their depth at all, and I don't think they can sneak up on anybody again like they've been doing the past few years. And I honestly wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't even make the playoffs, like they finished 11, 12, or 13. Now, I think they're going to make the play-in at bare minimum, but I wouldn't be surprised. And I think Bam is going to actually win Defensive Player of the Year this year, though. Another take I want to discuss, please comment down what your thoughts are on it. I think Giannis is going to have a season that is so good that the media starts as a conversation saying that he is starting to pass or is going to pass Tim Duncan as the greatest power forward to ever play. Let me know what your thoughts on that. Do you think that can ever happen? Just let me know in the comment section. But I also expect a Chris Middleton comeback season. I'm very much hoping for that to happen at least. But I also don't think the Bucks team is made for the regular season. So I think they'll ultimately finish as the 3 seed, although I think they are the best team in the East. I see a lot of people hyping up the Timberwolves, but I honestly think they're going to end up blowing it up this year and restructure their roster around Anthony Edwards. And by blow it up, I mean they're going to trade Karl Anthony Towns, Mike Conley, and anybody else with value. The only 4 players I wouldn't trade if I was them is Anthony Edwards, Jaden McDaniels, Naz Reid, and Leonard Miller. And I'm very high on Leonard Miller. I think he's going to be very good. But I also anticipate Anthony Edwards averaging 30 points a game, but I don't think they win very many games. So, blah, 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 blah. You know what I'm trying to say. They're going to blow it up, even if he averaging 30 points, because they're not going to win very many games in this Western Conference. Boom. That's what I meant to say. Now, this is probably my burning, most very, very hottest take of this video. That's why I put the cameras on, so y'all can see me when I say it. So when I am miserably wrong and y'all want to clip this moment, you know just to find where my face is. I think Zion Williamson's going to end up winning the 2024 MVP award. I feel like he's going to be healthy, and I think the media glazes him so much when he plays, so that, like, in a world where the Pelicans have a very good year and, like, finish top 4 in the Western Conference, and he plays 65 games, I think he's going to win the MVP. That is the only thing I can say about the Pelicans, though. But, yeah, Zion's going to win 2024 MVP award. I have said it before, and I will say it again. I think the Knicks will not make the playoffs. However, expect Brunson to have a good season, but they struggle with health and depth. I mean, they have 3 players over 6'7" that will actually play. So yeah, wake up, snap back into reality. Even if they do make the playoffs, they're getting bounced out of the first round. I don't think OKC is going to live up to the hype this year, and I think they're going to regret not trading for a strong starting power forward. I think there is a world where they trade Lou Dort this year, though. I do not think the Magic will be good. However, I expect Paolo to average between 26 and 30 points a game. This team has absolutely no shooting, though. Oh my goodness. But yeah, just look at the roster. Go look at the roster. They can't shoot basketball into the ocean. They tried. So I'm not high on this team at all. I don't think anybody is going to make a package that Daryl Morey likes enough to trade Harden. I also don't think James Harden's going to end up playing for the Sixers this year. So I feel like James Harden might actually get banned. Yes, that is a hopeful wish from a Harden hater and not a serious take. A serious take is that Joel Embiid remains in Philly and leads the Sixers to a conference finals. I'm telling y'all, if they tank in the regular season so Embiid is healthy for the playoffs, they can take down anybody. I also think they have way too many school threats on their roster to a point that they will not lose many regular season games. I personally think the Suns are easily the best team in the NBA. I expect them to win it all if they're healthy. I know I'm a Suns fan. There might be some bias here, but I honestly don't think it's that close. Like last year, I didn't think they had a shot. The year before, when they were 1 seed, I was like, nah, they're not going to win it. And now I do think they're going to win it. And I think KD is going to prove himself as a top 15 player of all time. And Booker will be Booker. And I think Bradley Beal will be a 50-40-90 member next year and probably average 24 points a game. The Portland Trail Blazers are a very sneaky team, and I think they're going to start the season hot like last year's Utah Jazz team, but they're going to have the same end of the year. I also want to mention that Ayton is literally the next Andre Drummond. They both have all the stats, yet they do nothing to help the team win. And I also expect Malcolm Brogdon to be traded. I think the Kings are going to stay atop the West, and they're going to silence the narrative that they can't replicate their success from the season prior. I really think they are becoming the most underrated team in the NBA. De'Aaron Fox is my king. See what I did there? I know you like that. Just kidding. But Keegan Murray is going to be electric this year, and that's why I'm so high on the Kings still. I don't think you can write them off as easily as the media has. After watching the NBA preseason, I don't think it's crazy to say that the Spurs might actually make the playoffs in Wemby's first year. This is definitely an overreaction, but he looks very good. If he plays the minimum of 65 games, he's going to get MVP votes and he's going to win Rookie of the Year. Now, the boldest take I can make for the Spurs is that they're going to be the team that gets Karl Anthony Towns, and they're going to put him next to Victor Wembanyama. I won't lie, I glaze Scotty Barnes all the time, mostly because I had him number 1 on my big board when he was drafted, and then he won Rookie of the Year, even though every one of my friends were hating on that. But yeah, that's your warning to not hate on the GG Jackson take I've made. But anyways, I hope he plays point guard this year, Scotty Barnes. Then I think he's going to excel and have a crazy year. But that's who I think of and what I think of when I think about the Raptors. I also think the Raptors are a very sneaky team, especially looking at the vets on their bench like Schroeder and pretty much others. I also don't think Siakam is going to be traded, but if he is traded anywhere, I would expect the Thunder to be the top landing spot. I honestly think the Utah Jazz are going to make the play-in tournament. They may be boring, but boring teams that play like a team are also very good in the regular season. So I'm personally not going to count them out, and I wouldn't be shocked at all if they made the play-in tournament. I also think that one of their rookies will finish top 3 in Rookie of the Year voting, specifically Taylor Hendricks or Keontae George. And I could see a world where Bryce Sensabaugh has a good year. I mean, I don't think Bryce Sensabaugh is going to qualify for that, but just wanted to make a mention in case he does. Make me look smarter, you know what I'm saying. I also think Walker Kessler is going to be a DPOY candidate because the media loves to glaze him. And lastly, the Wizards. Nobody really cares about the Wizards. They're not going to be any good, but Jordan Poole's going to average probably 27 points along with 5 or 6 assists if he ever decides to pass the ball. But yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the Wizards except for the fact that they have lots of chemistry issues due to conflicting play styles between key players. And we already saw that in preseason, so I think that take's going to hit. I fixed ESPN's top 100 list, and we all know it was terrible. I condensed it down to the top 50, and I fixed the list with one key thing. So if you're interested in that, click on this video right here. And don't forget to subscribe if you like the content. Have a good one. Bye.